All right, howdy people. We got our logging job all caught up. We got the poplar PO actually turned out good. Those few of you that's watching stuff, thank you for the support on that and everything. That did turn out good, and we're grateful for it. Very grateful for it. But the guys, me and the guys from the mill, me, Perry, Rickenball, Rodney, Pat, and Mikey, we all headed to the Midwest Fall meeting in, I forgot what town in Ohio it was now. Berlin, Ohio. And toured some mills up there. It's timber country up there. Toured some very good mills. I didn't get a lot of footage. I did get some footage here I wanted to share with you all, but I didn't get a lot of footage because that wasn't the focus. Sorry to let you all down, those of you who wanted the good footage. But the focus was so much. I learned so much on this fall meeting. Thank you everybody that allowed our bunch to come, and thank you to our bunch that went. The stuff picked up by everybody at this thing. It was the best one so far. It was the best fall meeting. This year's fall meeting was the best fall meeting we've done so far. Levi with Yoder Saws, I wanted to make sure and say thank you for the advice you gave me starting out as a rookie filer. Basically, I'm a green as a bean filer. I'm getting better, but slowly. Rick and Ball's ready to kill me. It is so, filing is so, every little detail counts. Every part of the body of the saw, every part of the tooth is all a detail, is all a rabbit hole you could go down. Man, I watched my brother go down the frost notch rabbit hole when the frost notches first started getting really big. We don't run a frost notch right now, and I might look into that in the future. Me and Rickenball's kind of kicking the idea around someday in the future, maybe. But bro, when we went back when he worked here, we was frozen wood was kicking our frozen hickory was kicking our butt in the middle, and that frost notch really helped with that. I don't know why on the frozen on there. I haven't studied into it that far because we can't do it, so it's irrelevant information at this point. But I did have somebody explain how the frost notch catches. Frost notch goes to the base of your gullet basically to stop the sawdust from the swirling motion and spillage, and then you get band swimming and stuff like that. But it stops the wood from moving and makes it compact and starts spilling it over the front into your gullet as it's running through the cut. And these sawmillers that got used to running the frost notch in the wintertime from frozen wood, they fell in love with it so much they run it year round. They don't get the spillage we get. We get a little bit of spillage, which I started into filing. Oh man, you can go on for days on filing, but I run a fat tooth, which Rick and Ball wasn't nuts about it, but my bodies and my band sucked. When you start out, I guess other people does this too. I guess I'm not the only idiot that does it, but I'm probably do it worse than normal people. But I get my bands all messed up, loaded up with tension, loaded up with back. Boing, boing, you know what I mean? Yes! But I tried to make up for it with the wide tooth, which made everything worse. And then we got cracks, and I made the cracks. So we're bringing everything back in now. I'm getting used to things, and Rick and Ball hasn't killed me yet. So we're finally getting our bodies figured out and slowly getting our metal pulled back to where it needs to be, where you got a limber light band. Our tooth size is getting back down there where it needs to be. So the fact that we don't have a frost notch may turn out to be okay, because we'll get our kerf down there where it needs to be, so we're not having the spillage and things of that nature, and chasing a bunch of things. Tension, guide pressure, tooth shape, tower lines tension on the band, straight teeth, back, tower lines, even tension. I think even tension was one I had trouble with. I mean, all these problems. And anyways, I'll shut up. But this year's fall meeting, really, with all you guys, it's like a brotherhood. This Midwest Fallers bunch is, and I've always kind of hung around in the shadows, looking at mills, because the way the mills we get to see, especially these guys up in Ohio, these mills we're getting to see, Man, they're so good at taking, especially energy. These guys are energy sucks up here. Our energy's easy, cheap, coal-fired. Biden probably don't like it, but coal-fired, cheap. We can burn the energy, and we got it piped in there quite well. But everywhere you go where there's timber, there ain't electricity. So these guys get so good at taking a small amount of electricity and gaining a lot of footage out of it. And it's good footage. And these mills we're going to see, that almost all of us on Red Oak. I think we've seen 4 mills, 4 or 5, 4 mills, 4 mills, 5 mills, 4 mills. And they was all knock your socks off. I mean, every daggone mill we went to, our guys is like, of course, everybody goes to the file room because that's where a lot to be learned. I mean, without the right saws, you ain't got nothing but a hunk of scrap iron sitting around. So there's so many people in the file meeting get so hung up in the file room because why wouldn't you? It's the file meeting. But with our bunch, I brought in sawyers and filers, and sawyers that's interested in filing. We all like got serious on everything. I mean, it covered everything. But when we get in the mill so much, you can see how these people take flow and conserving energy and chasing grade, conserving energy, you know, and getting the best results they can get out of it. And some of them's using technology, but not technology like crazy. I've seen a lot of sawmills, not a lot, but I've seen in sawmills in the past just take crazy, stupid technology, just get stupid with it. Go down a rabbit hole chasing a problem that ain't a problem and just throwing money at it. No by the time you all got done, you got something that's a pain in the butt to the mechanic, a pain in the butt to the maintenance department, a pain in the butt to the operator, and a pain in the butt for the people down the line, whatever this is doing to it is turned into. And then the mill owner sit there and talk about, well, hell, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And no, everybody's ready to blow this son of a buck up with a bazooka. You know, and I've been there and done that myself, you know. But to see these mills that we went and looked at and seen that the great ideas that these guys has all done, and to see how well it works, and they wasn't all big mills, they wasn't small mills, they wasn't big mills. They was just good, solid mills. A lot of them didn't have resaws. I think 3 of them didn't have resaws, and 2 of them didn't have resaws, and 2 of them did. One of them even had their own homemade, like Lumber Pro, and I was like, wow, that was cool. And I got a little bit on it, but I don't even know. Now these people, you can get a hold of this mill. I'll try to get his information, but if anybody needs Sawmill Solutions, these people kind of do that, I think. But I wouldn't want to share his information without permission. But just look at it, see what you all think. Here we go. This was our first mill, and boy, was it something. This head saw, now that before I get too far into this, they're actually building them a new mill down over the hill. We didn't get to go to look at because we just pressed on time too much. But this bunch, man, they got it together. They're not running a resaw at this mill right here. The thing is, it is so hard to get a... the operator made a mistake on that board. That board got dumped. But this mill understands how important this head saw is. Now, the way a mill necessary evil of a sawmill is your carriage is taken on the logs has got to make cycles. It's got to back up and go back and forth. Some people make double cuts, but it's hard to do grade lumber and double cuts where you're cutting both directions. But you know, there's all to get a machine that is as good as this machine is Corley, as this machine you're watching, and to mate it with an operator as good as this operator is. What you're seeing here, you know, your head sawyer has to do a good job sawing, but he's also at the back of his mind got to realize he's feeding the whole operation. So he's doing a good job sawing, doing a quick job sawing, and keeping his averages up, and that is a lot now. And I'm impressed. I don't know if I ever seen a head saw crank it out like that. I'm sure I have. Every time I see something like that, it just knocks my socks off. Now, this edger's one heck of an edger, too. Now, this mill's only got your head saw and your edger man here. But you're seeing an extremely good head saw and an extremely good edger. And they're, the production going through these is just something. No wasted bull mess anywhere. It's all important. And it's all just performance. I'm just impressed. Not a bunch of wasted bull mess. And this edger, I'm not understanding this edger real good. But it's got like a gang edger and a floatable saw edger. And I assume the reason they got this overhead on it is because they only got one saw that floats. I assume. I'm just guessing. One adjustable saw. Now, them boards is your return boards going back to the edger man you just seen up above. And they got their grader ahead of the trimmer, which is very cool. We don't have that at our mill, but that would be cool. And then they're also running their ties and everything, I think, through the trimmer. I mean, everything's going through the trimmer at this mill. And they're sawing Redo, by the way. And they're making their own power. Look at this freaking cat. I'm going to shut up so y'all can hear this big cat run. And Square D electrics. I noticed that. The electrical panels and stuff are Square D. Anyway, this is our next mill, the second mill. This is the bunch I was telling y'all that done a lot of their own stuff. They're really, I can't do them no justice. I'm telling you, they put all this stuff in. They designed a lot of things themselves. They bought a lot of these name brand machines and stuff, but they designed a lot of stuff in house. I mean, they did a lot of this, and these people are problem solvers. Is the people that owns this place, and I speak for our whole company when I'm sitting there telling you we was blown away. Them head blocks and knees there that does its thing. Behind it, they have it all set up to where, and I forget what, I want to say ASM manufacturer. I don't know. Those of you in the sawmill industry, you all know better than I do, and that's I assume a McDonough carriage here that they're running back and forth there. But just amazing. They conserve these people conserve energy like you can't imagine. They don't burn electricity that's not necessary, and they don't convey wood to places that's not necessary. And the conservative movements in the sword, to me, just, that's going to hit in the bottom line. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're paying your bills, that's all going to show up when they're not wasting them licks. And they don't waste time. They take the sawing, the sawing is very important to them. The head sawyer has a buddy seat there. When they go to switch out, the buddy comes in, sits down in the seat, and waits till they're at the right situation to switch out. I mean, these mills that don't have resaws, what I notice in this area, the mills that don't have resaws, they do not fart around when it comes to their head saw. They are not playing. When it comes to anything that ties up any
amount of time from the head saw. They're you know, what is that? What are we doing here? You know, you could tell in what they're doing that they're viewing it that way. And watch this can. They'll take this can. And you see him stop it. He took that tie, I guess, and took it the other way. They got an automated cut up and stacking line out there to the left of the screen where you can't see. And I mean, no human is there. It just does it itself. It senses. It's got a laser that's shooting and sensing distance, and it does everything by itself. And stacks it too. It's very incredible. But we didn't get a lot of this, I don't think. I just got mesmerized by this little shot right here. That's why I did it for so long. Here's this edger man in neat little edging situation. Very good edger. And you can watch how underneath the conveyors heading to you can see the boards in the distance up there heading to the grading line. And underneath all this is a straight line vibrating conveyor heading out to the chipper. And I'm not sure, I never went and looked at, don't ever went in the basement of this mill, didn't have time with the time we had allotted to us to do these tours, but I'm sure the chipper's just out there out of sight, you know, and everything's running straight to the chipper, not a bunch of goofy angles and weird stuff. And here's your grading, there's your trimmer man. They got, now I believe they did this programming themselves. All this stuff they did in-house, I believe. That's an HMC trimmer, but I think they done the controller and stuff like that. I'm standing on the grading deck. Mikey comes across here in a second, but me and Mikey standing on the grading deck, and the lumber grader's just out of sight on the right. But you can see how they got their lasers there where you can see what's going on when you're doing your grading and things like that. And these two are both graders. They just switch back and forward, which is cool. Oh, and I got these loader tires for something for us. The next mill, and I'm apologizing, but this next mill, I didn't cover any of it. I didn't. We got to walk around with the guy running the joint, I assume, and he taught us so much stuff. I couldn't even think while they're waiting. I mean, my brain was just steaming going around with this guy. But they do their own dry killing and stuff. They're a very neat operator. They would have been one of the neatest operations to get, but I didn't hardly get them. I hate that. This here's the last operation. Very cool heritage in this place. These guys take their heritage serious. And they're running a resaw, their head saw resaw, and they got a different kind of head saw. They took the operator's cab out of up there, which without the operator's cab, you don't have to run the carriage past the cab every time to get to the saw blade, which is a considerable amount of time. These guys are taking their head saw serious, you know. So, but I don't know. They put their cab way back, and I don't know. I don't know if that's good, bad, ugly, but it seems it's just different. It's real neat. They got a horizontal resaw here. McDonough 54, I assume. It's a pretty neat little dude. And their operators, there's places in our mill where we got excess labor. Now, we run pretty good speed and stuff at our mill too. But these guys are real cautious on their labor. And all these men up here are good men that work good. They're good, hard-working people. I was just impressed by everybody we ran into up here, and all the companies too. And I was just, every mill, if you can think about it, every mill has benefits and things that aren't benefits, but they all come together to work out in the end. Which I was just blown away by all this.
No, I didn't do a good job. That's a bad logger weight. That's probably the worst job I ever done recording in these sawmills like this. But it's the best job I ever done learning. I have to say, to all the sawmillers that allowed us to come in there and check things out, thank you so much. We are so grateful that you all allowed us to do that. And you all have, if you all would ever want to come see our mill, I don't think you're going to learn much from us, but if you ever want to come see our mill, by all means, come on down and check it out. We wouldn't hide nothing from you all, tell you about everything. So, but thank you for letting us in. Thank you for letting us see how you all do it. We was very impressed all the way around. Every one of the mills blowed our socks off. And I wanted to do this. I had this on my phone. This little bit before I get off here was on my phone. And Cliver, I love working lumber room with the lumber room boys. I go down there. If I get down there, you're liable to lose me down there for an hour. I just love these guys, and every time I get around them, I laugh my butt off. We all have horse laugh and have fun, which is selfish of me. If I stay down there too long, I'm not fixing things that I should be fixing. So I try to limit how long I'm down there, but I just love it down there. This here's Cliver. Now, the big joke between me and Cliver is he's trying to teach me a little bit of Spanish. And I'm getting a little bit, I can butcher my way through some Spanish. But these guys, when I learn a few words here, there, and yonder, I could talk a little bit to them, then they get carried away and they start really going at it and they're going into the Spanish. And then I get lost. I'll get hung up on a word is what I usually do. I get hung up on the wrong word, which is usually pronouns. I'm not confused. But I usually get stuck on pronouns or verbs or adjectives or something like that. I'll get stuck on a word and like, what is that word? And then by then I've lost it. So one of the first things they taught me when I started learning was buenos dias, which is good morning. So when they lose me and they get going, Cliver gets a kick out of this. When they lose me out, they'll go into a long thing, yada yada going on. One of them be talking to each other, and I'm trying to catch up and see what's going on, And I just look at them and go, buenos dias, buenos dias. I'm going to shake their, But Cliver wanted to say hi to his family, so in Chiapas, Mexico, howdy, hello, que pasa? In Chiapas, Mexico, I don't know how to say from Logger Wade. Love you all. Muchos amor. So here's Cliver.
Hola to your family.
Yeah, family. Mexico.
Family Mexico.
Yeah.
Hola.
Hola, Chiapas.
Chiapas. Hola, Chiapas.
Hola, Chiapas.